that's how I got stage time.
Is that really how?
Well, yeah. So I was always friendly with Chase. I met Chase through Jeff. Jeff died, but they both were like, yeah, if you love comedy, you should give it a try. And then I finally quit my job. I'm like, all right, you got to do it. And, I started going to open mics, but to get like stage time, I don't know who the fuck I was.
Yeah.
So I'd always burn, like I'd smoke anybody down who wanted it because I had my medical card in Massachusetts, which was great.
So funny.
And because I was unemployed, I got hardship. So they gave me like, so I didn't pay any taxes on it, any of the medical marijuana taxes. I didn't pay for. I got like 10% off because it was medical.
Dude,
and I was
get
unemployed.
Out of here.
Yeah, and I had money, so I would just buy it in bulk, and just whoever wanted to smoke, or if anybody wanted weed, I'd just hand them weed.
Now that you say that, I feel like every time I did see you, you were like,
"You want some weed,
drugs?" And I was like, weed, dude. "No thanks, man."
What was that fucking kid who ran Josh, who ran the Burren?
Josh Day.
Josh Day, yeah. I never had a beef with him, but he's kind of a hard on some people. But the first time I met him, he's like, and the first time I did the burn, he's like, "Oh, you're Randy." I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "Oh, man, I've been selling weed to the comics from Vermont or New Hampshire, wherever he's from, for years, and nobody's buying anymore, and you're the fucking guy.
You just keep giving it away.
Giving away weed."
Dude, yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I love Josh. I haven't talked to him in a long time. We had he's a good guy, but then he
just loses his mind. He has like a temper,
if you cross him, Artie was very close with Josh, and then they had a falling out.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember
Josh hated him.
Yeah,
for some reason. I don't even know why.
I know. Oh, I remember one time he and Chase got into it in a big blowout. We were at the Burn, and you know how like they had that DJ booth, and the comics would like, and the crew like waiting to go on would like kind of hang up, hide behind there, and there was a light switch on the wall, and Chase was like, going to go up. And he accidentally leaned back on the wall and he turned the fucking stage lights off.
Yeah.
And Josh freaked out in the middle of it. The person on stage was like, and then they would kind of go back into it. But then Josh was like yelling at Chase. So like it interrupted the person. Yeah. And Chase, Chase has a temper too. He flew off the handle. He wanted to kill the guy. And Will Noonan calmed him down.
Dude.
Will was there. And it's me, Will, and Chase were out at the front bar at the Burn. And I'm like, dude, if you really want to get him back, like, don't do it here. You're a black guy in Boston. You're going to be fucking, the cop's going to shoot you. He's going to blame you. Let's get him up there. Let's follow him back. Follow him up there, fucking slash his tires, beat the shit out of him, and rob him.
Oh my God, dude.
And Chase goes, Jesus Christ, I never want to cross you.
Are you insane, dude?
Well, if you want to do it, let's do it right.
Oh my God.
If we've learned one thing from the CEO killer, it's do it right.
Oh my God. Yeah. Dude, we were like 2 minutes in. Of course, I knew that would come up, man.
A little Swapcast episode.
Do you not like the cans?
I do, but if you can hear me.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I can see the levels.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, dude.
I also want to my beautiful face in the camera.
I know. I get you. Yeah, this is going to come out on our channel and your channel.
Yeah, so welcome to the Ready Set Blow podcast / Troublemakers.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'll do an intro before. We've been doing pre-recorded intros that we put on the front or whatever.
So. I would have had to either bring my gear or rent studio time to get an episode done this week. I'm like, fuck it. I know Dylan's in town.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Dylan.
Every year I do the Christmas episode with Dylan. It's like an annual thing, 3 years in a row now.
We did just say too, every time that Randy has done it, it's hostless. It's co-hostless.
Yeah.
So Dom is still here. He'll be here next week, but he's out of town. And
shout
Randy,
out, Merry Christmas, buddy.
Randy was like, "Hey, you're around?" And I hit Dom up. Actually, it's so funny. I hit him up. I was like, "Hey, I think you said you were out of town on Friday, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I won't be here." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. My buddy Randy from Boston, who lives in LA now, he's going to come through and do the pod. I'll just do it with him solo." And he was like, "Okay, cool." Yeah. And like didn't say anything else. And I was like, "All right, whatever."
Hopefully it doesn't hurt his feelings.
So then 3 days later, I talked to him on the phone and I was like, "Hey, just like scheduling stuff." I was like, "Hey, you're not in town Friday. We're just going to do the pod, me and Randy." But and then I told him, I was like, he's done it a couple times around Christmas, when he's back in town. And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I thought you were pushing me out the pod." And I was like, "No, dude." I was like,
"Guess what? You're done."
I was like, "You just came on."
What a passive aggressive way to fire a guy too. Say, "Hey, by the way, you're gonna be out of town, so we're replacing you for good now."
Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, "No way, dude." Although everybody listening is probably like, "Dylan, a fucking snake. Can't hold on to a co-host. This is his first step." To be fair, every time Randy has done the pod, there has not been a co-host.
Yes. And it used to be easy. You used to live in Ridgewood or in Williamsburg, close to where I grew up.
I know.
But I came out to a store. Nice place, though.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you. I appreciate
Very fancy,
it.
Astoria, Queens. Classy.
Just a little solo living, dude.
Yeah, more Greek, less Puerto Rican. You went up in the world.
Yeah, I did, dude. It's a nice, it's a lot of, it's still the same amount of yelling, but
just in a different language.
It's still nice, it's still a lot of loud.
Yeah, it sounds prettier in Greek.
Yeah,
than Puerto Rican Spanish or whatever, the Spanglish they speak.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's a lot of different smells. It's the different foods, but they smell good. Both people, very good people on both sides.
Very good people. Oh, he must. Did Trump carry Long Island? I think he did.
Oh yeah, dude.
He had to.
Yes, of course, dude.
Talk about white flight. Everyone that used to live in the city moved out to Long Island in New Jersey.
Yeah,
that's why those places suck.
That's why we have great food now. It's just a lot of mashed potatoes and unseasoned corn.
Yeah, the only spice you have are salt.
What is the whitest food that you could think of?
The whitest? It's got to be like a hot dog.
You know what? I think
that's the thing about white people.
Hot dog, yeah. It's got to be chicken noodle soup.
Yeah. They say they have, a lot of people claim like, oh, white people have no culture. It's like, no, they do. It's just lame. It's just boring and corny.
Yeah. I don't know what the whitest food, it's got
mayonnaise. Mayonnaise has got to be on the list somewhere. Ranch
mayonnaise
dressing.
Definitely there. Cold cuts.
Yeah.
Like, that's like such a white thing, cold cut. Oh, we're going to take this ham and cut it up, slice it, and put it on bread.
Yeah, there you go. That's ham. Ham is very.
Ham's white.
Because even like when, Latino people make pork, they make the roast pork.
Delicious.
It's delicious. Yeah. The fucking, that big Easter ham. That's just broiled ham. It's like I
hate it.
Salted ham.
I really dislike a boiled ham.
They put Gildan's mayonnaise on, or the Gildan's mustard on it.
The binder.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't like it. Nothing upsets me more than when you go to a person's house, and I get it. Some people love ham. I just get very disappointed, dude. You show up and there's a ham and you're expecting like either a roast or like a turkey or chicken, and you're like, oh, it's fucking ham,
the only
dude.
time I like ham is when it's on a Cuban sandwich in addition to other pork.
Amen.
That's really what it's about. And I think I have a theory. I think that's why I think that the reason why white people are like, or some white people, I should say, are still like, have like a thing, or might have some racism, is because everything that's white is corny.
Yeah.
Like everything cool happens in some minority community. Like the music is better in minority communities. The food's better.
That's fair.
What are white people known for? Boring shit. Voting, paying taxes. like nothing fun ever happens in the white community.
Yeah. Going to school.
Yeah, going to school. Right. Being a good parent. Boring.
Oh my God.
Boring. Right?
This is definitely a crossover episode.
Yeah, I'm going to get you in trouble here.
Yeah, I know. Ready, set, blow. Troublemakers.
Right. Yeah, we both have actual day jobs now, and I'm still talking like an asshole.
I know, dude.
Well, I made it known to. I was the CFO of one company. I'm the CFO of another, and I told them both.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're double dutying CFO.
Well, I'm leaving one company, going to another, but they needed me to transition or whatever.
Hey, that's pretty great.
But I made them both. I let them know. I was like, hey, I do this on this, do comedy on the side. You might see something on the internet. If you don't like it, then don't hire me. And they're like, no, we'll hire you anyway. I'm like, all right.
Wow.
I put my foot down because I hadn't worked for like 6 years. I didn't have a real job.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Most of my 30s, I was retired, dude. It was fucking nice. From like 31 to 39 or 33 to 40.
Giving weed away to comics.
Yeah, exactly. Giving weed away to comics. But I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get back into it because I was like, what the fuck have you been doing for 7 years? Smoking weed, telling jokes. Like
sabbatical. Dude, you know what? Yeah. No one cares. No one cares.
Well, that's the thing. And people were so desperate for fucking labor, like for people competent people after the pandemic. I was like, all right, well, I can get another job.
Yeah.
Because I thought for sure after all the shit I said on the internet that there was no way.
I mean, we had a buddy of mine who was on the pod. He told the story on the pod, but he got a job and like 2 weeks later, he had a clip go viral about like sleeping with a trans person or something, or like I forget what it was.
Who happened to be his boss,
but it was like something. And they saw it and they brought him in. And they were like, "Hey, we saw your comedy," and he was like, "Did you like it?" And they were like, "Yeah, you're not the right fit for this company."
That's such bullshit, man. Yeah. Like that'd be like firing. Like it's like, some people play golf on the weekends. You can do that, but I can't tell dick jokes. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you worried about? Like, do I do the job or not?
Yeah.
Like, why? What does one thing have to do with the other?
I know.
It's like you can't not hire someone because they're handicapped or because they're black or because they're old. but you cannot hire them because they told a joke you don't like? Fuck
Yeah,
off.
I mean, I don't know if joke telling is the same as being in a wheelchair, Randy, but
but what does it have to do with being an accountant? You know, like people have hobbies. You know, some guys beat their wives and their employers don't know about it. Like, have them fire those guys. You know, it's a little weird.
Yeah, some guys like to play golf, go to the beach.
Yeah, weird
Other
shit.
guys like
bird watching. That's a fucking weird
bird
hobby.
watching. Some people like to burn crosses and go to rallies on the weekends. You know,
particularly in the South.
Who are we to judge
right?
what you do outside of the office?
Let the Lord do that. That's His work, not me. So do you? I said,
you can't hear it. You don't have the cans on.
I'll put the.
No, that's okay.
No, I got you. I'll put them on. I'll be respectful.
No.
The process here.
It doesn't matter. It was just a.
You got sound bites and shit.
Yeah,
What
we do. We got a
fucking
couple.
Pro, dude.
He is a sick puppy.
That's a good one. I knew you'd like that, dude.
Yeah, dude. So you're still practicing law, but now entertainment law. Do you talk about your old job at all?
A little bit, not really.
Are there rules against you talking about being a?
No, not even. When I did it, I never talked about it.
Well, I mean, obviously, at that point, you're working for the government. You know.
Yeah.
Was it state or federal?
State.
Okay.
State,
For those my listeners, he was a state prosecutor.
Yeah.
When I first met him, and
I know
it was like a whisper. He's like,
Yeah,
he's a lawyer. I'm like,
like,
for who? They go, the government. I'm like,
Don't talk about it. Yeah, I would do shows and open mics, and then wake up the next day and be in court, and it was like chaos, dude.
Criminal prosecutions. What's the longest you ever sent anyone to jail for?
2.5 years. Was
so you were a good prosecutor. You weren't one of these fucking.
Well, that was like the max in Massachusetts if it's at the district court level, 2.5. But I think there was someone who did like an on and after, so it was like 2.5, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah,
do you know how many guys and gals you sent to jail? Do you keep track of that?
No.
You ever keep track of your win-loss record? Do they have like a leaderboard at the prosecutor's office?
No, dude. There was like, okay, can I tell you? Yeah, there was like that is very frowned upon. Okay, because
to brag about how many people you lock up?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how these people. That's how you get promoted to fucking state attorney general.
That's what. Hey, listen, that's what they say. But yeah, no, dude, everything that goes to trial at that level, it's going to trial because it's bad. It's like a crap case, It's not a good case, so it goes to trial. People take a chance. If it's a really strong case, a winner, people plea it out. They don't. It never gets to the trial. You know,
and also it's
like
not
a drunk driving where someone like has. I mean, those are great, dude. You have like someone gets pulled over and they have like an open can in their hand and they throw up on the officer's shoes and you're like, this is going to be a plea. He's not going to take this to trial.
Yeah. And I guess too, you're not a federal prosecutor where those guys can put you away for life. And they have like a conviction rate of like 99%. But that's because like you're telling me like a district court, it's like 2.5 years is the max. Mm-hmm. But if you're facing like life or like a 10 years and you do 7, it's like, fuck, man. If I, even if you didn't do it, you're like, shit, if I fuck this up, I'm in the can forever. Like, I'll take the 7 years.
And that's why a lot of people do it. Cause it's when you're facing the chance to, hey, I could go home tomorrow if I win, or I could go home today once the trial's over, or I could go for 10 years, or they're offering me 4.5. Yeah. It's like, what do I want to do? Yeah. It's a tough call. Yeah. Or if you're facing like mandatory minimums, those are,
Yeah. Did you, I assume most of your things were pleaded out. I mean, going to trial's got to be very rare.
No, I've done there. You do a lot. I mean, a lot of it's, like I said, dumb stuff will go to trial. A lot of, DWIs in Massachusetts, it's OUI. Okay. But it's OUI? What the fuck is OUI? Operating under the influence. It's the only place that they also call it the RMV instead of the DMV.
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
Fucking dumb.
It's Commonwealth, dude. It's Commonwealth behavior.
Not a state.
I know. the Commonwealth. But yeah, hey, Dylan. I wouldn't say hey. I would go Dylan Krasinski for the Commonwealth. Yeah, I did have one incident, like one time where I was going to trial. I've done 50 something. I have it written down somewhere.
How many years did you do?
I did keep track. 5 years.
Oh shit.
5 years.
And you went for criminal law school?
No, you don't. When you go to law school, you don't like specialize.
Really?
It's kind of just in general. You learn everything.
I figured you learn everything, and then they have like your last year, like, I'm going to specialize in.
I mean, you can. Like, I shouldn't say that. Like, you go and it's a general education.
Okay.
And then you kind of decide what you want to do. You kind of, I like this, I like that. I want to be in court. I want to be behind a desk. And then you'll have internships, externships, and then you could take class. So I did like a, what is it called? An internship or a clinic. Yeah. So I was in the DA's office for like a year and a half.
What's starting salary for a Commonwealth district attorney?
You want to know?
Yeah.
When I got hired, this is disgusting, dude.
I'm curious.
When I got hired, it was $37,500.
That's fucking bananas, dude.
Isn't that crazy? That was 10 years ago.
I've worked, I was in finance for many, many years, still am, I guess. And most of those first year like corporate lawyers coming out, they'll be making like 100, at least back then. Today it's probably way more. They were like 175,000 back then.
I think
2005, 10.
Yeah.
Now it's probably 200 something, maybe more.
If you work for a big firm and you come out now, it's probably in the realm of like 180 to 220.
Yeah.
I'd have to think. I'm not sure.
You work for Wachtell or some shit.
Yeah, like some big firm.
Yeah, Gibson Dunn. Some 9-name fucking thing. Yeah. Moishe Shavitz and
Cravath is like the biggest firm.
I know
Scatnarp,
I know these names.
But Ropes and Gray.
Yeah.
Those are all the big ones.
That one always sounded fucked up to me.
Ropes and Gray.
Well, because ropes, it's another slang for
jizz.
Shooting ropes, dude.
Tying people up.
Lasso a semen.
Hey, come on to our law firm. No. We got tons of ropes here. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? But yeah, dude, it was actually, I'll tell you this. So when we got hired, right?
By the way, 37.5, that you're basically making comedian money.
It was worse, I think.
On an hourly rate, you're making fucking McDonald's
money.
It's terrible. Because I'm sure as a DA, you work your ass off. Because you're going against actual criminal attorneys who are fucking really good at their job and get paid a lot.
I will say this, and I am biased, but the prosecutors are the hardest working people in the courthouse.
I wouldn't disagree.
By far.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
I think defense attorneys maybe have a little more stress because you have someone's life in their hands.
They get compensated for it. You know what I'm saying? Like their hourly rate is 10 times what your hourly rate is.
Yeah. I will say I worked as a defense attorney for like 3 or 4 months before I moved to New York. And even small cases like traffic stuff, I was like stressed out because I was like, oh, this guy, if he takes a conviction, he'll lose his license. And when you're a prosecutor, you have all like the power to be reasonable. Yeah. And I was so reasonable.
I was going to say, were you a tough guy? Or,
no.
Yeah, I'm sure you're like, wait, whatever limits the amount of paperwork you have to do.
Dude, no. Yeah.
You get 100% plea rate.
Dude, when
you gave sweet ass pleas to everybody.
Here's what I did. If it was like
no one was harmed,
no victim. Yeah. Like I did a lot of the domestic abuse stuff.
Oh, so yeah, like those guys you want to take care of. Yeah, you want to hit them hard.
Those are like the things that matter. Yeah. Okay. But like when it comes to like traffic or like lights, people getting stabbed, those are like the big deal shit. But like, yeah, dude, if someone's stealing copper from a construction site and it's like, all right, well, they're out, but their insurance is going to cover it. And like, they have no interest. They've already recouped. They're not going to get blood from a stone from this guy.
He's stealing copper from a fucking construction site
with $20 in his pocket, and that's it. He doesn't have a bank account.
He's been sitting in jail with no bail for fucking, because he can't afford the $500 bail for 3 months now. Let him out.
So what are you going to do? You're going to send him to jail when he's got a 30-page record? It's like, I don't know. Just don't do it again. We'll see you next month.
Yeah. That's where I come down with crime. Like, violent crime should be prosecuted hard. Yeah, and nonviolent crime, it's like, all right, well, what happened to the money? Can you get some back? Fine, and then be on your way. It does nobody any benefit like, like you said, like if somebody stole, $200 worth of copper from a construction site, you're going to lock them up for 3 fucking years? Or they stole a car. It's like, did you get the car back? Yeah, then what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? We're going to spend $100,000 a year jailing this person over a car they found and returned? Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, the stupid stuff, like I would be like, all right, yeah, like let's figure out a way, just, maybe a probation that if you complete it, you don't get in trouble, it goes off your record. It's like they're called quaffs, right? Continuation without a finding.
Ropes and quaffs.
almost similar to a queef, It took me a long time to not laugh.
Please tell me you accidentally on purpose once said, we agreed on a quaff, Your Honor.
Hey, Judge, we're thinking about some queefs. I don't know what you think. But I think a couple of queefs would be pretty nice holiday treat.
Yeah, a queef ought to get this one off.
So yeah, dude, that's what it was, But yeah, the serious stuff was,
What's the case? What's the worst L you ever took as a DA? You're like, oh, I got this one in the bag, and like, oh fuck. When did a defense attorney get one over on you? Like, he got me good on that one. You had to shake his hand after the case, like, fuck, you got me on that one,
dude. I've had a couple of those where you're like, damn it, I thought I had it. It's usually, to be honest, what it comes down to is. And it's hard to explain this to someone who doesn't experience it, because I think from the outside looking in, everyone's like, the criminal justice system is so out to get the person who is the defendant, right? Who is, and in a way, yes. But
well, the odds are stacked against them because you're already detained. But I think the law actually is in their favor because you have to prove that they did it, not that he didn't do it.
Yeah. Once you're in, especially in Massachusetts, dude, everything favors the defendants and the defense, like the amount of cases that a judge will just be like, oh, you didn't provide evidence in time, dismissed. And like that kind of shit happens all the time. And it's not like intentional. Yeah. It's just, how many people get arrested every single day.
Yeah.
And then that builds
I can't
up,
even imagine.
And you got to get police reports. You got to get
that's the thing.
Call
being a
records.
DA, you must be just fucking waves of problems. I mean, like you solve one case and 4 more on your desk. Like, God damn it! Like,
so it's just like it drowns the police departments in paperwork, the prosecutors, the probation, the clerks. So like things just like sometimes take a long time, and when they take too long, a judge, especially in Massachusetts, will be like, "Well, this doesn't seem fair. Dismissed." And you're like, "Okay." So like that kind of stuff happens. I did have one actually right around Christmas. I remember I was working with this defense attorney. He comes in to do a trial, and it was a drunk driving trial. He's kind of like known for his drunk driving defense. There are some guys who are just like, we talked about that. Like certain defense attorneys, they're known like, oh, you drugs, this guy.
Yeah. Well, we talked about my defense attorney in Texas.
Exactly.
That went viral.
Dude, he reposted it.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if we followed. We'll follow up on that story after this, but finish the story.
So I had this guy. So we're sitting there, and he's like, we're the only case. Like everything else is pleading out. It's going away. They're getting dates. And the judge, you could tell, like she wanted to do a trial. It's like the 23rd. Like 2 days before Christmas. And the defense attorney, he comes over to me, he goes, hey, look, Dylan, I know we just met, but do you want to do a trial today? And I go, not really. He goes, why don't we just agree? We're going to just get rid of the jurors. There's only like 8 jurors here, and we got to seat 7, or it was like 10 jurors. The pool was super small. Yeah. And he's like, why don't we just agree that, well, we can't seat a jury? And I was like, all right, let's do it. So we go through the whole process. He uses all his challenges. I'm using challenges. We get down to literally the last juror, okay? And the judge goes, counsel, you've used all your challenges. Does the prosecution want to use their last challenge on the final juror? And she's staring at me, and I got to see this judge every single day.
She's gonna remember that
every single day. And I'm like, do I want the reputation of being like, Judge, I do have a problem. Don't know what it is, but I don't want to go to trial.
I have dinner plans tonight.
Me and the defense
Let's
attorney,
cancel this fucking thing.
Me and the defense attorney already agreed that we don't want to do a trial, and you're refusing to give him a date. So I was just like, no problem. And the defense attorney, I could just see him. He was just like,
you fucking asshole.
What the fuck, dude? And I was like, dude, I am so sorry. Did you see how awkward that was? I got to see her tomorrow. I got to see her for the fucking rest of the year. I got to see her every day. I can't do that. And he was like, all right, it's fine. We'll just do it nice and quick. So I go up, I give my an opening statement. It's like fucking 30 seconds. Okay. It's so quick. And then he goes, after I open, he goes, Judge, can we be seen sidebar? And I was like, what the hell? No. So he was like, he really didn't want to go to trial. And he's like, Judge, I think the prosecution failed to mention one of the elements in his opening, which I did, to be fair. But I think I missed like one specific, like the street name or something. Key
element, yeah.
Yeah, because you got to say like, oh, and he was driving on 495, which is a public way. Yeah. And it was just like one of those like, and you're going to hear that he was driving on a public way on the highway and this and that and that. And the judge was like, we'd have to look into it. Can counsel, does counsel want to continue? And he was like, no, judge, we gotta do this over. And I was like, you son of a bitch, dude. He got it. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that case got thrown out because I maybe fucked up.
Oh, okay. Well, he got what he wanted.
It was such like, and this was like 2 years later. I think I was gone by the time they I think he appealed it, kept appealing it, and it got like thrown out, is what I think happened. But that was a classic. That was just the 2 days before Christmas. Yeah. We didn't think we were going to trial. He didn't want to go to trial. And I was just trying to do it as quick as possible to appease him after I wronged him like that. So
have you ever run into someone you convicted on the street?
Thankfully, no.
Because, it's not like they have security for prosecutors.
Dude, yes, I did. I did, dude.
What happened?
Bro, I remember I was barking for the hideout. Dude,
could you imagine some guy you convicted's like, why the fuck are you doing on the street barking for a cheap comedy show in a basement? Dude. I thought you were the district attorney. I am.
Yeah.
You try to hand him a flyer?
Dude, he was
I know I gave you 6 months, but you want to come see the show?
Dude, he was like, do you remember me? And I was like, no. And he was like, and then he explained.
I sure remember you.
And he was like, I was just like, oh, how are you? He was like, I'm really good now. I'm really good. And I was like, that's great. I was like, we got a comedy show happening. Like, I was so shocked, dude. Yeah. I saw a judge once barking at the hideout.
They must have been like, what are you doing here?
She was like, hi, Dylan. She was like, Mr. Krasinski. I was like, Your Honor. Just standing out here barking for comedy shows.
Comedy is humbling like that. You'd be in a fucking courtroom, be in a big shot meeting, and then I'm, at this big shot CFO meeting, and I'm fucking,
oh my God,
telling terrible jokes to people at 4 a.m. for $2. Like
terrible. The amount of times I did like up and backs to like Portland, and then had to be in court. Like I'm changing in my car out of my suit, get home at like 2 a.m, and then I'm in court at like 7:30 the next day. Like brutal. I did have one other thing that I was going to say. This is really just turning into a podcast about me now.
No, we never got to talk about it because you used to be the DA, so I couldn't talk about it. Now that you're not, we can talk about what you used to do.
That's fair, dude. One time I did have a kid who came in, and I was prepping for trials, right? And I'm going, and I'm like, this case is the most likely to go. And the kid walks in, and I was like... And he was like, hey, what's up? And I like didn't. And I looked down at I was like, oh shit, dude. It was like his full name on the file. And
it was on John?
Yeah.
You tried to prosecute on John for something?
I knew him by his like nickname or whatever. And it was just like, and I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And he's like, this is what you do? Oh, this is hilarious. And I was like,
no, it's not. Wait until I read out your charges before you start laughing.
So, dude, then the defense attorney comes over. He's like, so I heard you know my client from the old comedy circuit. I was like, hey, shut the fuck up. Do not say that loud.
Definitely don't mention it to the judge.
Do not talk about that.
Yeah, I'm going to recuse myself, put another DA on this.
Dude, we had to go up sidebar. Yeah. And I was the only prosecutor like in trials that day. We had like 2 in the courthouse. And the judge is like, he's like, yeah, my client and the prosecutor know each other. And I was like, yeah, judge, I didn't realize I know him by like this nickname. I didn't realize until he walked in.
Yeah, who this was.
And she was like, all right, another date. And we didn't thankfully have to get into it. And I was like, oh my God, that was making me sweat for a second.
Dude. So speaking of legal stuff,
you getting in any more legal trouble, dude?
No, not criminal legal trouble.
Oh yeah. Hey,
I will not talk about certain civil things.
Okay. Can I tell you real quick before we get in this coffee? Do you like it?
I slammed it because I just like caffeine.
Dude, it tastes like shit.
It does taste. It tastes burnt, but
I hate
there's
these
caffeine
like fancy coffee shops you go to.
Yeah, they're sometimes
they can't do a coffee well.
Yeah, sometimes you just want a 50-cent. Do you remember the old 50-cent coffees in the Chinese and with the
blue and white,
the blue and white Chinese mugs? Fucking
the best coffee you can get on Long Island, and people make fun of you, but it's 7-Eleven coffee, always good. Always really? Top notch, dude. Put a little half and half in there. That's a classic. That's a Long Island wake up
better than
drink.
Dunkin'. They put
so much,
especially in Massachusetts. They put so much fucking milk in. It's like having a milkshake for breakfast.
It tastes like burnt water.
Yeah.
This shit. And it's like $5 a cup. I don't know why I keep going. It's because it's the closest one. I don't know why I keep going.
Proximity.
I got an everything scone, which had cream cheese in it. That's why I went.
You like a scone?
No. I wanted the ham and cheese.
I feel like they're dry.
They are. This was a ham and cheese, like a croissant. It was not a scone. It was a croissant. Okay. I wanted the ham and cheese one. They didn't have it, so I got everything. It's got cream cheese in there. I was like, yeah, it was good.
Dude, I'm so fucking old.
I slammed it.
Yeah, dude. I'm so fucking old. And I've been getting them this week. Just ham, egg, and cheeses from the deli with a coffee. Nice. I remember it was like $2. It was like 50 cents for the coffee, $1.50 for the sandwich. Now it's I think he $5.50, $6.50. He banged me off like $9 for the two things. Yeah, but yeah, dude, $2 got you a whole fucking meal back. I know. They were like, oh, bacon, egg, and cheese and a coffee. That's $11. Yeah, you know who hasn't raised their prices? Yeah. You know who hasn't raised their prices?
Arizona iced tea.
Arizona iced tea and Chinese takeout.
They're still pretty.
Well, I mean. That's how you know the inputs are not that good. Yeah, because they're still making a good margin, even though they're not upping their prices.
Yeah.
You know, like that was never really chicken.
Oh yeah, no.
Because we know the price of eggs has gone up, the price of chicken's gone up, but not at the Chinese food spot. You know,
it's true.
You know,
it's just like wild. Hey, it's you never see a rat in a Chinese restaurant. No, I'll tell you that. You never see one.
Yeah, you see them in the wok when they're fucking frying them up.
Jita. Like, what the hell?
Little claws are trying to scrape out.
Yeah. Oh my God, just live. Like it's the best when it's live.
Yeah. Freshest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this is so fresh.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, not to stay on the legal stuff, but what do you think, Luigi Mangione? Do you think they're going to get him on those terrorism charges? Sounds a little trumped up.
Yeah. You know? I like it does seem because if you think about it.
I mean, it's murder one. It's definitely murder one. I mean, it was premeditated murder. But terrorism, he shot one guy. Like, what's the terrorism? It's not like he placed a bomb anywhere.
Yeah, no, I know. I think the terrorist charge is a little bit of a stretch.
Well, I think what they want to do is they want to scare him with the death penalty so he pleads out. They don't want this shit going to trial and having a fucking. They don't want him to have a pulpit to talk for 6 weeks at a trial.
I mean, you also don't want, you got to convince 12 people that he was jury nullification is a real thing. It's not allowed, but it's a real thing. You're playing to, and I mean, to a sense, both sides play to the jury's emotions.
Yes.
But basically, you're playing to the jury's emotions to try to get an acquittal.
Yeah.
Basically, like,
think O.J. Simpson.
Was this real? Exactly. Yeah. Was this really that much of a loss? Like, that's what the defense attorney is going to, like, really play like. Yeah. That this guy's the victim and he was at the whims of all these people. You don't think one person is going to be on that jury being like, yeah, no, I fucking hate healthcare.
Yeah, I think they might try and go with the old temporary insanity pleas. Like, oh, he hurt his back. He was on pills. He was angry at his doctor. He's fine now. They're going to try some shit like that because you might be able to find a sympathetic jury, like you said. Like a sympathetic. You just need one juror to fucking agree with you in the whole thing.
You just need one.
Yeah.
And the prosecution needs, I think at the federal level, it's 12.
Yeah. 12.
You need 12.
Yeah. What's crazy is that I looked it up because I was curious and I was like, I think, look, no legal system anywhere in the world is perfect. I do think we have the best situation.
We have the best.
Easily. And I was
Which sounds crazy, but we have the best by far.
Yeah.
Innocent till proven guilty. Italy, it's guilty till proven innocent. You got to prove.
Well, yeah, you're
innocent.
You have to provide like an alternate theory. Yeah. Like the defense has to say, oh, it wasn't this. It was this that happened.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say he didn't do it. You have to say he didn't do it because this and this and this did happen.
Yeah.
But I looked it up and because in my head I'm like, I think even though it's pretty clear, especially amongst younger people, that they are more sympathetic to the CEO killer than people would be. Than you would think, because he obviously murdered the guy in cold blood. But they're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
I mean, there could be, I don't know, if like he didn't make any statements, there could be like an identity argument. Like he could be like, that ain't not me, man.
Yeah, yeah. But I think what I was going to say is that even though people might be sympathetic to him, I still think a jury, when they read the judge reads his jury instructions. Like it doesn't matter whether or not you agree, you hate Brian Thompson. Did he or did he not kill a man?
Yeah.
And most juries, I was like, I was like surprised. Like, I think juries get it right more than you think. And I looked it up, dude. So over 75% of the time, the judge agrees with the jury's verdict. Mm-hmm. And while there's obviously no perfect data on this, because if the person's innocent, they wouldn't be in jail. But they estimate that somewhere between 5 and 10% of convictions in the United States happened to someone that was actually innocent. And I'm like, that's surprising. 90%, 90 to 95% correct conviction rate is higher because, I mean, when you leave it up to just 12 random people are fucking stupid, man. Like, I would think it's a coin flip. You know, like people are that gullible that, you know, dude, but the fact that 95% of the time they get it right is impressive.
Especially in like groupthink.
Yes,
people are uncomfortable. You know, you put strangers, because these people come from all over the place.
Yeah.
That was the coolest part about my old job. It was my favorite part is when you get to pick a jury. Oh, really? I really did love picking.
It's big
juries.
money in that, too, being a jury selection specialist.
I don't even know if that's a real thing.
No,
I mean, I'm sure it probably
like
is.
A jury selection consultant. They have things for that.
Dude, I should go do
Look at that. Yeah.
I'm really good at
picking juries.
Yeah. Dude, also like the psychology of people. Like there were little things I did.
It's a performance, man.
I can
it
say
really
this
is
now,
performance art.
It really was such a performance thing. So like when we used to pick juries in district court, right? So you would walk up, the defense attorney and the prosecutor, we'd walk up to the judge, right? Yeah. And then the jurors would come up one at a time and we'd question them. So one thing I would always do, and I don't even know if I got this from someone or I just like started doing it, but I would walk up first. I would like get up a little quicker and walk up first so I could put my back against the wall so I could look at the whole jury pool. Okay. So when the jurors are coming up,
they see you.
The defense attorney has their back to the juror and they see me first. So I like smile and I'm like, how's it going? I give like a little
make it a little personal.
Yeah. So like they see me right away and they're like, I fucking like that guy.
Yeah. Hopefully. Smile. Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Presentable guy.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure.
Just like little psychological things that I would try to do that in the end, who fucking knows if they help. You know, when I was first a prosecutor, I remember it started to become a running joke, but like I went like 13 trials in a row without getting a guilty. Like it was bad.
Hey, how do they rate your performance then? Because if you're not getting fucking convictions, you're like, this guy's a terrible prosecutor.
Dude, it has nothing to do with how good you are.
Well, it has to do. It is still a government job.
It has to do.
So there's a lot of graft
with the. I don't know if this makes sense, but like it has to do with the facts of the case, and then like again, certain like where I first started the court that I was in, it was in Malden. Okay, so like that, the demographics there for the jury pool, they're very pro defendant.
Yeah.
I worked in other courts that are very pro prosecution, and it was easier to get
white areas
convictions. I didn't say it.
I said it.
I didn't say that. Hey,
Republicans.
Don't be rude.
That's for you, dude.
You just got Trump buttons. I love it.
I do. We got a couple. But yeah, that was it was like a running joke, and then I finally got one on like something serious too. And I was like, oh, all right, that's a nice little fucking
like
elephant off my back.
It's like when you're an open mic and you get your first laugh, you're like, all right, I can do this. I can do this.
But it really doesn't have to, because that's what I would tell people when they started. I'm like, the guilty, not guilty, you know, whatever the verdict is, it doesn't matter. It's like, are you presenting it well? Are you articulate? Yeah. Are you convincing?
And that's the thing. It's out of your control. Once it goes to the jury, there's really nothing you can do. It's
completely out of your control. Yeah. You know, you can only put your best argument forward, and then what 7 people do in a room, you have no idea about.
Yeah.
I once had a juror try to like talk to me after, and it was like, I was kind of pissed because I was like, this should have absolutely been a guilty. And I was getting in my car and the guy's like, hey, can I talk to you? And I was like,
no.
He's like, I was just on that jury. I was like, we're not allowed to talk. Sorry. Yeah. And he was like, the judge said we couldn't. I was like, no, we're not allowed. I was kind of pissed at it. I was
my district attorney said, my superior said I couldn't.
Which, to be fair, yes, that was also, but I was still like pissed. I was like, no, I'm not allowed. Yeah. Because also you don't want like, God forbid that guy's like, you know, I wanted guilty, but they all fucking, you know, they told me I had to if I wanted to get out of here before the holiday. And it's like,
fuck. Yeah,
I got you ready to go back into court? Because we got to go talk to the judge.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you ever try bang a jury member? Theoretically, allegedly.
It might be the quickest way to lose your license. I'll tell you. Just be disbarred and, you know, oh my God.
Oh, they could disbar you for something you did in a different state years ago?
I'm sure. Yeah, dude.
There's no statute of limitations on that?
Dude, that's like if you murdered someone 10 years ago. You're like, dude, you're going to get me because I was in Iowa 15 years ago?
That's an old crime.
That's an old crime. We've had 3 presidents since then. What are you talking about? It's like, what? Yeah, they can get you. No, I did have. I fucking told this story so many times now, but I did have one situation where I was prosecuting this woman who was like, it was like my age probably, and I was like not in court one day. I was on vacation, and I get a message on Facebook from someone. I had transferred court, so it wasn't my case anymore. And this message on Facebook that was like, "Hey, missed you in court today," or something like that. And I was like, "Who the hell is this?" I'm like trying to put it together. I'm like not thinking of. I'm like, "Who is this?" And then I like look at the profile, and I was like, "Oh my God!" It was the defendant. And I immediately like screen grab it. I send it to my supervisor, and she was like, yeah, you know what? You have to block that. She's like, hey, don't reply. And I was like, oh, thanks. Yeah, no, obviously, no shit, don't reply. And I was like, yeah. She's like, just block her, don't reply, and you're conflicted out of that case. So I was like, she was like trying to flirt with me, and I was like, hey, all right, yeah, at least
I'll lower the charges for a little action.
At least I still got it, you know.
Are you basically exempt from jury duty forever now because you were a district attorney?
No, I have to go. I had to go like a month.
Well, I guess different state too.
4 months ago I went.
Yeah,
and I
different
sat,
state too.
dude. I sat in that fucking.
Oh, you actually served on the jury?
No, I had to sit in the room though, and they go through it.
Yeah,
it was a civil case. Thank God I didn't get picked. It was like some 3-month medical malpractice.
Yeah, I just used the George Carlin method to get out of it years ago.
What is that?
On a special, he was like, everyone hates jury duty. He's like, you know how you get out of it? Just say you could spot a guilty person as soon as you look at him. I've done that.
Funny bit.
I've done that. I was like, can you be impartial? I was like, no, the guy looks guilty. You're excused.
Oh, dude.
I've done it like 3 times. I've gotten off every time.
Dude, that is the worst part because I would love to be on a jury. I want to be on a jury.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Dude, you get lunch. You get to hang out. It's great. Judge people. It's like 2 of my favorite things. Judging people and getting a free lunch.
And free meals.
Come on. Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's why you see a lot of old people on juries, so they got nothing else to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God, I would love it. No, this last time.
I wouldn't mind it if the companies I'd worked for actually paid my salary while I was, because some companies do. Like if you serve, they'll pay your full salary. All the companies I've worked for never did. So I'm like, fuck this. Yeah.
If you're on salary, they can't. They have to give you like vacation that isn't vacation. It's like jury exemption.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've had bosses tell me if you sit on a jury, I'm going to fire you. So
if it's hourly,
this is finance though, so there's no laws. If there are, they don't follow them. You know?
No one cares when it comes to banks.
I mean, there's all sorts of fucking labor laws they break at investment banks. I mean, fucking in the last 3 years, like 4 or 5 guys, young kids, 25 or younger, fucking died at the investment bank. like oh yeah, he just keeled over.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude.
Is that like stress, overwork?
Stress, overwork. Yeah, and those guys are all fucking hopped up on Adderall and Vyvanse now. So
my
they have
God,
fucking
they're
heart
just
attacks.
fucking pushing him with a broom.
Yeah.
They're like, put him in the dead person.
Stepping over his body as they do another deal.
Put him in the dead associate's closet. We'll get him at the end of the day. Get him out of here.
Sweep him up.
Oh, this closet's starting to smell. We gotta call the police.
Yeah, just get the paper shredder and put him in.
Oh my God. How long have you done that?
I was an investment banker like on Wall Street for 2 years, and then I did another 8 or 9 in private equity, and then I started working internally at companies. Wow. So I was at like big investment firms for 11 years. 11 years.
What do you think about BlackRock?
I mean, they fucking own everything, dude. They
crazy.
They bought like 40% of the single family homes in the country after the mortgage collapse.
Yeah,
that they helped cause.
So
it's a real sweet deal for them. It's like, hey, we're gonna give you the money. The government's going to pay back your loan, and then we're going to take your house. So we're going to get the house and the money. Is really what happened. So
and no one really knows who runs BlackRock, right?
Yeah, this guy Larry Fink is the CEO, but
is it American money? Is it foreign money? No one really knows.
Yeah, all their investors, people who hold shares, it's all over the place.
Could be Saudi Arabia and China.
I'm sure they have huge chunks.
Literally,
I think Qatar has like a $10 billion investment in them or something like that. It's fucking, it's wild. I mean, like that, and that's why I think there's people are surprised at the lack of sympathy for Brian Thompson, the dead United Healthcare.
I didn't even know his name, and you said it now twice, and I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah. Nice. It's like, can you believe how callous people are, and they're supporting Luigi? Like, yeah, I can believe it. People are angry. I was stunned that no one else tried to take a shot at a CEO since. Like, no one shot at the investment bank CEOs after the 2008 collapse.
It's kind of crazy,
right? Like they took,
when you look
they
at
took
it.
3 shots at President Trump, not 1 shot at the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase. Like, you know, we're lucky it hasn't happened before, but to pretend like you don't know, like that you're aghast at people, you know, not having sympathy for him. It's like, yeah, well, he doesn't have sympathy for all the people he denies claims for. I mean, and that's his job. And I'm sure he's like, as a person, I'm sure he was a normal guy. But, you know, on the same token, I said this last week on my podcast, I didn't know the motherfucker before he died. I don't know him now. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, like people are like, oh, it's so sad. It's like, you didn't know him yesterday. Now you know his name and now you care. It's like, how many people die every day that you don't know? I don't where's your empathy for them? You know, like,
I've been very outspoken about this, a movement of like when people, not related to this at all, but when people, when someone dies, they want to like rewrite their history and be like, they were such a good person. And I'm like, no, they weren't. You hated that person.
I'm on the train with you on that one. It's like
this was a bad guy.
Yeah.
You hated him. We talked shit about this guy every single day and how he would ruin our lives. And now he's dead. It's kind of a better situation. I feel bad for his family. I feel bad for his kids, grandkids, whoever.
Yeah.
But like, it's kind of a net positive that guy's not in our life anymore.
And it, like they always say, like, you know, don't speak ill of the dead. And I'm like, why? They're dead. That's the best time to speak ill of them. Be nice to them when they're alive. You know, like you're gonna be nice. You're gonna be an asshole while they're around, and then nice to them when they're dead.
If
like,
you can,
when I die, everyone should fucking trash me. I want my funeral to be a roast. Randy was a real cocksucker. You know, that's what I want from my eulogy to be.
Dude, he always gave me free drugs, but they were always shit.
Yeah, shit weed he gave out.
Dude. Yeah, if you're able to talk shit about the dead, it means you've won.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still here. You've won.
You made it. You made it.
You've made it. That's so good. What were we saying? Oh, I had a question about this. Yeah. So BlackRock, right? Yeah. And other things. I think you can't really mention BR because they might demonetize. I've seen some weird stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised.
People mentioning things about that and they get demonetized. For
you can't even talk,
which is crazy.
You can't even talk about. You know, I'll say the word, but you can bleep it. Suicide, even if it's for suicide prevention, because they'll pull it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not going to bleep it, but
that's fine.
This was my idea. I don't even know if it's practical, but it should be. Is like, if you are a hedge fund or an investment firm or something and you manage over 100 million in assets, you are not allowed to deal in residential real estate.
Yeah, I think that would be fair.
Why are multi-billion dollar like
buying single family homes
to rent them back to people? Yeah. And then, you know, in 10, 20 years, they're like, hey, we're going to knock down all these and build a condo.
It's the definition of a monopoly. I mean, like if you buy 40% of the single family homes in this country, you control the price of rent in this country. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
And dude, it's hard. Individual citizens have to like stand up to it. Cause like, imagine you had a house that's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sell, but like maybe parents, they're getting older or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, hey, your house is worth $1 million. We're going to give you 2.5.
Yeah. It's hard to say no.
Hard to say no.
Dude, I had a condo before I started doing comedy in Boston. Nice condo in the South End.
Brag.
Yeah. It was fucking
polished
concrete floors,
I was out there.
ceilings.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I was out there making $37,500 living with 3 roommates. Dude, I'm doing better now doing comedy than I was being a lawyer in Boston.
Yeah, my career went like this, and yours is going like this.
Yeah, first time I haven't had a roommate, and it's not on a lawyer's salary.
Yeah. But I sold it. You know, because I was getting into comedy. I was like, I need the money. I didn't want to work for several years. So sold the place and I put it on the market. And within 48 hours, I got an all cash offer for 5% or 2% above my asking price. I'm like, oh, wow. And I was like, who's the buyer? And it turns out it was a wealthy Chinese family. Their daughter was going to graduate school at Harvard, and they wanted to fast track her residency. And it happens if you own property.
Yeah.
So they were going to buy it in cash and put it in her name. And, you know, I had some misgivings about that, but when you show up with a pile of cash, it's like, well, fuck my morality. I'll take the money.
You're one of the reasons.
Listen,
dude.
I hate when people sell out unless it's me. I can be bought. I can be bought. You know?
That was always the thing.
I'll be a Trump supporter tomorrow if somebody handed me $100 million right now. I will say whatever he wants me to say.
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, you know,
I'll support Hillary, too. Any one of them. Whoever wants to pay, please buy my vote. I am 100% for the right price. The thing, you know, my morality comes with a price tag. You know,
that was the funniest thing about like all the when Tony Hinchcliffe, all that stuff, where he was like, I found out everyone's getting. I was like, I thought we were just doing this out of the goodness of our hearts. He was like, I didn't know people were getting paid on the left. People like Oprah and Lizzo.
Well, Trump famously doesn't pay his vendors. So.
Fair, fair.
So,
hey,
but yeah, I mean, taking him. I think that's my favorite soundbite. Yeah, his dance.
The best, dude.
What a weird. I mean, somehow I got to figure out like how he has been able to do. He looks ridiculous. He dances like an asshole. He says crazy things and gets away with it. Like I want to know. I want him to teach me his secret.
Dude, I mean, it makes sense. We live in a society right now. Think about like the things people watch. They watch like Vanderpump Rules and The Real Housewives, and it's like he is reality television. You know, like he was before.
Yeah, he helped invent it.
Literally, kind of helped invent. Like, hey, I'm gonna come in, The Apprentice, like all that stuff. He's been that for so long, and people are just like enamored with that idea.
Yeah, dude. I think that's why I've thought it through because I've said it 1,000 times on my podcast that I desperately want to be a cult leader because it seems like a good job to have. But
I got the personality for it.
I don't know about that.
I think you could do it.
The problem is, I think what makes a good cult leader is that not what they say or do, it's their ability to pick people that fall for it. Like they're good at picking marks. Like just like any con man, it's not the con, it's the person you pick that could fall for it.
Yeah.
My problem is that I think I would hate my followers if I had a cult. Because if they're dumb enough to follow me, I would disdain them. You know what I'm saying? I would resent them for liking me.
You think Trump loves the average Trump voter?
Oh my God.
No. Do you think he goes home and he's like, I love all these people?
Yeah.
No, as soon as he's off the mic, he's like, these fucking idiots.
Yeah, 99.9% of Trump voters would not be allowed a membership at Mar-a-Lago.
No, 90. We're talking 99.9, dude. Yeah. If you have a Trump flag that is in camo, you're not allowed to even meet Trump.
You and he have nothing in common.
He would be like,
other than you both voted for the same person. Although I don't know if Donald Trump could vote for himself because he was convicted felon. Do they pull your ability to vote after sentencing or after conviction?
That's a good question. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's after conviction, but also like I don't know if that applies to
the president.
The president. There might be different rules. Clearly, like,
I wish because that was like a big photo op back in the day. I still don't know if they do it. Like on election day, the president and his wife would go and they vote for who'd you vote for?
Yeah.
I think it would be like a cool thing if each candidate always voted for the other candidate as like a tip of the cap, because one vote doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's to show like democracy matters. Look, I'm voting for the opponent because we want to be fair to each other.
So funny.
Jerk off.
Yeah. Dude, that would even, no one would ever do that now. Because like, how could, especially the way politics are now, like the people who have been like so outspoken against Trump being like, he's a threat to them. Can you imagine Kamala being like, I know for the last 3 months I've been saying he's an existential threat to democracy, but also I voted for him. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, people were saying that
you'd get crushed.
Dude, people were saying after Biden pardoned his son, pardoned Hunter, they were saying, because obviously that was egregious. And he'd been saying for months that he wasn't going to pardon his own son, then he did it.
To be fair, I can't jump on him for it. I would do the same thing.
I'd pardon my son too, yeah, of course.
But also I could shit on him for it because it's not me or my family.
Yeah, you're not in that position, and nor will you ever be, so fuck him.
Dude, you don't think I could be the president of the United States?
I mean, now all of us can be, right? I mean, every president since, I've been able to vote, it's been like, if that idiot George Bush Jr. could be president, you could be president. Dude, if a black guy get elected, you could be president.
Easier and easier.
Now I think after Donald Trump, if a guy with that much baggage can be president, then any of us could be president. You know what I'm saying? But people were saying like, in order to sort of, squash some of the fucking heat about that, Biden should just go ahead and pardon Donald Trump. He's not going to prison anyway for anything because he's going to be president. But just like, I pardoned my son, but I also pardoned Donald Trump. So shut the fuck up. Dude,
that would be the ultimate. Dude, people from the left and right were going at him. If you pardon Trump,
like, what is going on here?
It might also save his legacy.
Yeah,
because people would be like, all the like MAGA would be like, fucking yeah, baby.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, thanks, Joey. We'll start making.
Or they would be like, we don't buy it. Trump was going to pardon himself anyway. Yeah. Can you pardon yourself?
Yeah, that was something that Trump talked about. That no one ever. It's like, well, no one ever tested the legal theory. I'm like, wait a minute. There's no law. Like that's what I think Donald Trump really made every American realize is how much of our political system is based on norms and tradition and not actual written law. Exactly. Like nowhere does it say the president can or cannot pardon himself. It's like, well, maybe we should write that down, guys.
Hey, maybe that should be part of it.
Yeah, it's a little important, don't you think?
Like when things, we've gone so far, like when things started, 200 years ago, everyone was just like, okay, yeah, like we'll write down the important stuff. And then everyone cares so much about government that like we'll kind of all do the right thing.
Yeah.
And like we'll test the limits, but it's all
we'll
about
trust people's integrity.
the country.
Yeah,
and then
little do they know that people have no integrity.
integrity is gone.
It's gone.
Integrity is gone.
Yeah. Although I will say about the founding fathers, it is pretty fucking impressive that over 200 years ago, they basically wrote the structure of this government, and it still works pretty well.
Yeah,
like it's fucking amazing. Like it's of course nothing's perfect, but
I mean they didn't think it would last.
It held up. It's held up this long. I'm surprised
they didn't think it would last 50 years.
Yeah, because people are fucking stupid. Self-governance with dummies in the population, you can really get in trouble.
The whole like whiskey rebellion, that was kind of technically like a revolutionary war, the start of a revolution. Yeah. And we could talk about this for hours, but like the way that people were so outraged over like small taxes. If you had the founding fathers look at the way that government is run today, they would be like, how has this society not burned this government to the ground?
Yeah. It's true. I mean, but that's the thing. People used to be self-sufficient back then. Now they're not, right?
Yeah.
The way global geopolitics and the economy works is you can't just, I got my farm, I'll take care of me. It doesn't work.
You're
like
that. Almost not allowed. They're like,
how the fuck could you?
Dude, the government now, the federal government is like, you're not allowed to be self-sufficient to a way. They limit how much you can grow, how much you can, like, in terms of crops. They limit, like, if you're like off the grid with like your own water, electricity, they like limit that.
Oh yeah,
because they don't want you creating
outside of the system.
Outside of the system,
it's true.
It's like you can do it for yourself, but not anybody else.
Yeah, that is one of the. And look, I do believe you have to tax people, and it should be a progressive tax. It's the best we got right now. But it is fucking wild that they tax your income, and then you spend it, and they tax you on sales tax. And you buy a house and they tax your property. So you get taxed 3 times on the same dollar.
Buddy.
It's fucking...
Not only that.
It's bananas.
Not only that, you go and buy you go and buy a bodega. You go and buy groceries, right? So you're getting taxed on those groceries. And then the people who sell those goods are getting taxed on selling them.
Layers and layers and layers.
And then they're buying more goods and they're getting taxed on buying them and then taxed again on selling them. Like your dollar is taxed like 10 times.
Yeah, and it drives perverse incentives. I mean, I always thought like you should never tax. I think income tax is wrong because it's productivity that you're basically dissuading people from being productive.
Yeah.
So if you really want to, if I had a magic wand and start all over again, I would go with strictly a consumption tax.
Yeah, a consumption tax is great.
And then the more expensive the item, the higher the tax. So like if you're going to buy a $400 million super yacht, then your taxes are 100%. And you know what? It'd be like a nice symbol of wealth. It's like, I have so much money, I can pay twice as much for this. And it's not a problem. It's like a flex.
It makes sense, dude. I like the idea. Income tax wasn't even a thing until World War I or World War II.
That's
where it was
crazy.
Like,
that recent?
It was put in to supplement the war effort. But as we know with government, similar.
Yeah, you give them a nickel, they want two.
Dude, you think 9/11, you think COVID. As soon as the government gets something, some amount of control, it's not like they're going to give it back.
They never give it back.
They're not giving it back.
No.
So once they were like, oh, people are good giving us income tax, I will forever blame people for not being like, war's over. We're stopping paying income tax.
Dude. So they just passed the military defense budget for the year, $895 billion. 61 votes in a row since World War II. 61 in a row to raise it. They've never once not raised the defense spending budget.
Yeah.
Is that
I just saw that thing that just came out with it was the 1,500-page bill.
Oh, that's the new one. That's the
CR.
Yeah, the CR is the rest of the budget outside because they separate military spending and the rest of our spending is separate.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that always gets passed, and then this other shit is what they fight about the rest of the year.
Well, apparently I just saw something before we started recording, and again, this is coming out on my pod in a couple weeks. But
yeah, same here.
Perfect. Okay. But it was like, it went from 1,500 to today. They resubmitted a bill that's like
116 pages.
Yeah. It's like very small.
Yeah.
And it was like, why in a CR, which is what, continuing resolution, where it's basically like, we need money to keep us. Why are we like defining certain things?
That's
in
another
there?
thing
It's
they should
like,
write in the Constitution. Every law is on one item.
That's,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
amen.
Like
dude.
It's like, oh, here, we're going to spend this. This is the, we're writing a law for this, but we're going to tack on all this other pork. Like, no. Every law is for one issue only.
Exactly.
One issue only.
One
yes
thing,
or no.
Yeah. Yes or no.
Yeah.
Are we doing it?
Yeah.
for the good of the country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, we want to keep the government open, but let's squeeze in there some more farm aid taxes. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's bananas,
crazy.
dude.
And it just makes it unreadable, basically. You don't know what you're voting for.
I guarantee you none of the congressmen read the first bill or the second 116-page bill.
Yeah.
Because it came out overnight and they voted on in the morning. Who the fuck is reading 116? No one.
That's like everyone was getting on Trump during the election because they tried to pass something with the Border Act, and he was like, no, this is terrible. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh yeah, see, he doesn't want to fix the border. He encouraged Republicans to vote against it. And it's like, yeah, dude, when he was in office, he fixed it with a signing of his pen. And now you want some 1,600 page bill that has so much pork and stuff. And it's like, why are we're talking about the border, but we're also sending money to the UN in the same bill? Yeah. What the fuck are we talking about?
The UN that constantly fucking slaps us on the wrist for doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the UN is now like supporting Hamas. It's like, what is going on?
Anyway,
let's not get into that. Right? What's next? Trans issues, Randy? All the hot button topics. The dead CEO. Fucking.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is going to be an interesting case over the next year, probably.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think they want to wrap it up with him. Just get him to plea out and shut him the fuck up.
Probably. We're already in an hour, but before you go, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I was going to say, I do not, because I don't believe in that bullshit.
Okay.
Well, because I mean, look, if you have goals in life, have fucking goals. Why does that have to be New Year's? Yeah. It's just another New Year's Day is a Thursday. Like I can change my life starting now. Like, why do I have to wait till the first?
It's true.
I know. Make a vision board. Fuck that.
I don't disagree with you.
I've also learned if you have no goals, you can't disappoint yourself.
Man,
it's hard to be upset with yourself.
I can't fight you on that, dude. Damn.
Yeah. What are yours?
I always pick 8 to 10 every year.
Oh, really? And you write them down and track them?
I write them down, and then
that's smart. If you're gonna do it, you got to write it down.
Usually, I'll 9 will go out the window, but I'll keep 1.
Okay.
And that's the way I do it. I'll be like, I got to drink more water. I got to a couple years ago.
And you set achievable goals.
Yeah, they're achievable. One was flossing every day.
Oh, okay.
And I've been doing that for now 6 years. I've been flossing every day.
That's smart, Dylan. You got to. I tell people this. They're trying to lose weight, or people have asked me 1,000 times how to start a podcast. You just got to start doing it.
Just got to do it.
Just start small and do it. Dude, I read
I'm going to start telling people, it's pretty tough. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. We got enough.
Yeah. How do you start comedy? Yeah, it's closed.
You don't quit.
Book's closed. Sorry. Can't do it.
It's like the mafia. We close the books on this one.
Books are done.
But I read something a long time ago that it was I think it was the 4-Hour Body or something. Maybe it was Tim Ferriss. But essentially, if you set your target small enough, you're more likely to achieve it than setting it higher. So if you just weigh yourself every day.
I do that.
On average, you'll lose 4 to 5% of your body weight just by measuring yourself every day.
Yeah.
If you one thing I heard from an expert that helps you sort of break habits and create new ones. If you want to go to the gym every day, don't say you're going to go and work out 5 days a week. Just say I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week and go. Even if you don't do fuck all. Even if you just sit in the parking lot.
Even if you get on the treadmill and walk for 20 minutes.
Yeah, just something. Just something. Because what happens is you get progress. And that encourages you to do more.
Yeah.
But if you have a lofty goal, I want to lose 30 pounds. Like, fuck, I didn't lose any weight today. I quit.
Why'd you point at me when you said that? I was fucking rude. Meanwhile, I weigh myself every day, and it's been consistently going up. Dude, do not lie to me. Thank you, though. Good. It's layers.
You look like Dylan.
That's so sad. It's dark colors. And
how old are you now? You
35.
35? Okay. You're on the right side of 40. I'm on the wrong end of it. So.
What are you?
41. Turned 41 this year. I'll be
baby.
42. Yeah, man.
I'm turning 36 in February. It's getting there.
Yeah. Are you feeling it yet?
The hangovers for sure.
Yep, that's where I felt it first. I was like, fuck.
For sure. Dude.
I used to shake them off like a surface bug.
Dude,
now it's a problem.
I had 2 nights ago, I went out and I had 4 drinks. Okay. Dude, I spent the entire day on the couch yesterday. I was like, this is terrible. I was dead.
Dude, I did mushrooms like a month ago, and it hit me so hard the next day. I canceled all plans. I was like, I just gotta sit and think with this one.
I gotta keep my thoughts.
This one really fucking got to me. And that's the one drug I do that I think is benefit. I think most people should, unless you have a history of psychotic breaks in your family, I think it's worthwhile for most people.
Yeah.
Because it's the only drug you do where it's like even if I'm just doing it for like fun to hang out with my friends, it gets a hold of you and you learn something from it.
And I want to do it. I've never done it. I really want to. Yeah.
Oh, I can't recommend it enough.
I got to find like the right time, the right people to do it with.
I can hook you up. Okay. I still got access to drugs.
Yeah, and, perfect.
And I'll admit to a past crime.
Okay,
but in the past, I've been known to mail people drugs.
Oh, that's definitely a federal offense.
In the past, Dylan.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Allegedly, this is also all jokes, people.
Of course.
This is pure comedy. But I would venture to guess the United States Postal Service is the biggest drug dealer in the country. I'm sure they're shipping it across all over the fucking place.
Probably, yeah. That makes sense. I mean, they can't, you think they're really scanning? They have drug dogs at every mailbox?
Dude, I'll tell you this. One time, allegedly, I mailed a vape card, a couple vape cartridges to a friend of mine when I was out west, back east. And he got the envelope, and they cut a little hole and just took the fucking cartridge out. So I'm sure the mail sorter was like, "Oh shit," and just stole the drugs.
He smoked it in the back while he's checking mail.
I was like, "Oh fuck, great." He didn't rat me out. I mean, obviously I put no return address. But
nice guy.
Yeah, he took his tax.
We're gonna just smoke these. Hey, Merry Christmas! He's giving them out. Dude, before we wrap, my goals this year, I have two that I think are pretty good. One is I gotta stay off my phone when I wake up.
Oh,
dude,
man, that's a tough one.
I think I might get an alarm clock and move my phone across
old school,
the room.
with the button,
move it across the room
because you'll sit in bed for an extra 20 fucking minutes flipping through.
Dude, it also might just get me out of bed.
Yeah,
because
let's still go get your phone. Yeah,
I'll go want to look at my phone, go to the bathroom.
That's smart.
Play on my phone in the bathroom.
I like that. Also, if you set your alarm on your phone and put it across the room, then you have to get up.
I know that's brutal. I've done that in the past where I'll get my phone and then go back into bed.
Oh,
it's zero self will. And then the other one is I gotta cut it with the Uber Eats. I have a goal where if I'm not cooking and I want to go buy food, I got to leave my apartment and get it.
Dude, that's so funny. I made myself do that when I moved to LA because on the East Coast you go get your food, it's easy. But in LA, it's like, oh fuck, and you're paying $20 to goddamn Postmates to send the shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck this. I don't have. This is when I was still not working. I was like, I don't have that kind of money. It's like, all right, if I want to fucking order greasy takeout, I got to get off my fat ass and go get it. That's one.
Dude, if I get a breakfast sandwich, it's $25, and I'm like, why am I paying?
Yeah, paying $40 for a fucking McNuggets.
Well, it's cold and raining. Yeah. I gotta just.
That's half the year in this town, in New York City.
I know, dude.
Yeah, but I actually do have one goal. I got off the fucking schneid with Instagram this year. I finally out of trouble with them. It only took 2 fucking years.
Wow.
I was on the shadow ban. And I jumped my numbers up. I'm at 75,000.
Wow.
I think next year I'm going to try and hit 100,000.
Love
I think
that,
I'm
dude.
Try and get another 20. So I need 2,000 followers a month. So if you're listening, follow me at Randy Valero. On Instagram.
At Dylan Krasinski. I peak above the 7,000, and then
we'll get you some of my followers.
I lose 50 followers every day, and then
we'll collab on the clips. We'll get you some of my followers.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, come follow me, baby. Dude, this was great. You want to? You already told them, but tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, find me at Randy Valero on all platforms, and then of course listen to me on the Ready Set Blow podcast every Wednesday.
Woo! Oh, Wednesday. That's when ours
comes out. Wednesday. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let me know the date you release it. I'll release the same day. I'll bump whatever episodes I have in the can.
Hell yeah, dude. And then you can follow me at Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and at Troublemakers on all those sites. We post clips a few times every episode. New episodes out every Wednesday. For Troublemakers fans, Dom will be back next week. And we'll see you on Wednesday, baby.
Yeah, and I'll come back when Dom's here, so we can really.
We should, yeah. You'd love Dom.
Yeah, I'll make it back more frequently now that I'm tired of fucking LA. These people are weird.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't moved to Austin. Honestly,
yeah. Well, I like to zig when everyone's zagging. All the cool kids moved there. Actually, LA got better when a lot of assholes moved out and went to Austin. So
that's cool.
So it made a little more leg room for me.
That makes sense, honestly. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you next week, baby. Good night.
See ya.